Hi, I'm Nathan Williamson from the U.S. Department of Labor's Office of Apprenticeship. For the next 30 seconds, I want you to think back to when you were a child and what you wanted to be when you grew up.
You always knew what you wanted to be when you grew up. And with an apprenticeship, you can start doing it faster, learning from the best, and earning while you're learning. In top fields like graphic design, financial services, advanced manufacturing, and more. Discover apprenticeship because your plan is action. Get started at apprenticeship.gov.
Now, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. See, I love how our inspiration was able to achieve her dream of being a firefighter through apprenticeship. Now, the 8-year-old me wanted to be a meteorologist. Obviously, I'm not up here telling you the weather, although it's 75 degrees and partly sunny in Washington, D.C. Nevertheless, the skills that I learned both in and out of the workforce have allowed me the privilege to be here to do what I do today. See, I was a combat veteran, an auditor, and I've had the privilege of public service in both the Departments of Veterans Affairs and Labor. Now, I also suspect that you're not doing what the 8-year-old you expected to be doing. However, you are here, and that's where our opportunity is. See, together, we can provide opportunities for all Americans, regardless of what their background is or where they came from, to achieve their childhood dream, their American dream. Now, through the apprenticeship system and the education system, we can work together to ensure that every American can have a job with dignity, with skills that they can learn and grow on, and provide meaningful income to support them and their families. Today, I would like to reintroduce you to the National Apprenticeship System. The system that started in 1911 in the state of Wisconsin was codified over 80 years ago with the National Apprenticeship Act, and most recently provided a new alternative called Industry Recognized Apprenticeship Programs. All right, now before I begin, I'd like to give a shout out to National Apprenticeship Week, which was last week, November 8th through the 14th. National Apprenticeship Week was a nationwide celebration that brought together business leaders, career seekers, labor, educational institutions, and other partners to demonstrate the support for apprenticeship. Now, just because National Apprenticeship Week was last week, that does not mean that you cannot continue to celebrate. So we encourage you to go to our website, apprenticeship.gov/NAW, and take a look at all the resources. Take a look at the over 700 events that took place last week. And if you want to host an event or have an event that's going to be planned and has an apprenticeship angle, I encourage you, register it. We get over 50,000 hits to our website, so that's a lot of message amplification if you register your event. Even if it's not during National Apprenticeship Week, you can still register your event, issue a proclamation, and if you want to do something that's socially distanced and safe virtually, we have a ton of templates and resources that you can use. Again, that's apprenticeship.gov/NAW. Again, I'm Nathan Williamson, Deputy Administrator at the U.S. Department of Labor's Office of Apprenticeship. The purpose of my presentation is to either introduce you to or refamiliarize you with the apprenticeship model. I'm going to provide a broad overview of what apprenticeship is, give you some facts and figures, some data, some definitions that you can use when you engage your network to ensure that apprenticeship is part of the solution for our nation's workforce development needs. I'm also going to provide a status update as to where the apprenticeship system stands today, even with COVID-19. Just to give you a little bit of context, over the last year, we've had over 200,000 new apprentices in this country. That demonstrates that our nation still needs those skilled labor, that skilled workforce, to be able to do the work to keep our economy running. Now, the approach I'm going to take is I'm going to give you 3 different perspectives. And I think these perspectives are important because we can't just try to get folks into apprenticeship. We need industry to embrace and promote apprenticeship, and we need educators to ensure that apprenticeship contains that education component to make sure that the paid work experience can be combined with that classroom instruction, and it becomes a portable, a proven workforce solution that ends up with a nationally recognized credential. With today's theme being building skills in and out of the workforce, I'd like to talk about how apprenticeship programs are distinguished from other types of workforce development training models. And there are several factors to this. First of all, for a registered apprenticeship, there are 5 components. Apprenticeships are jobs. Apprentices are paid by their employers during training, and that starts on day 1. They're paid throughout their training as if they are working in the job. Apprenticeship programs provide on-the-job learning, and it's in the work setting. Additionally, it's tied to job-related classroom training, and this is a 4-credit training component to apprenticeship that does incorporate that partnership with the education system. On-the-job learning is also conducted in the work setting, and it's done under the direction of a mentor. So you're talking about those who have done the job for many years, actually working with that apprentice as they do the job, and they're earning while they're learning. Finally, training results in a portable, nationally recognized credential. So one of the main questions I get is, how long does an apprenticeship last? Well, again, like everything else, the length of an apprenticeship program can vary depending on the employer, complexity of the occupation, industry, and program type. And if you're wondering what these occupations, these industries, these program types might be, again, just like everything else, we offer that on apprenticeship.gov. You can go into our job seekers part of the website and be able to find information on those resources. I'm going to start by talking about the benefits of apprenticeship for employers. Why? Because without employers offering apprenticeships, there are no apprentices. Here are just a few of the many benefits for employers that I'm just going to cover today. First and foremost, it allows employers to recruit and develop a diverse and highly skilled workforce that includes women, minorities, veterans, people over the age of 40, even people with disabilities participate in apprenticeships across the country. And it allows that employer to recruit and develop that talent that not only reflects their business, their industry, their customers, their communities, but society. It improves productivity, profitability, and the employer's bottom line. Staff is loyal, especially if they come through with an apprenticeship program. And the retention of workers, not only during the on-the-job training of the apprenticeship, but after folks graduate from their apprenticeship and earn their nationally recognized credential, often stay with the company that trained them. It creates flexible training options that ensure workers develop the right skills, minimizes liability costs through appropriate training of workers, and it opens doors to all sorts of federal and state resources such as grants, including federal grants at the Department of Labor. You can receive tax credits and employee tuition benefits in participating states. And for veterans that are going through an apprenticeship program, there's an aspect of their GI Bill that can pay a living stipend to them as they go through. And if you've got veterans that are interested in apprenticeship, I encourage that they reach out to the Department of Veterans Affairs to learn more, or go to our website, apprenticeship.gov, and go to the Veterans section. And interesting tidbit, apprenticeship is not just for the private sector. Believe it or not, many federal government agencies, including us at DOL, the Department of Health and Human Services, Department of Treasury, and the U.S. military have apprenticeship programs, as do many state and local governments. As for career seekers, this is where it gets exciting. Through an apprenticeship program, workers can obtain paid, relevant workplace experiences while acquiring the skills and credentials that employers value. It makes them competitive in this very competitive marketplace that we have today. Benefits of apprenticeship for career seekers include earning a paycheck while learning from day one, while you're on your way to earning an industry recognized and nationally portable credential. That's important. Industry recognized and nationally portable credential. You avoid the typical student loan debt that is associated with college, yet you have the possibility to earn college credit while in the program. That's the learn while you earn aspect, where, again, going back to the 5 components of an apprenticeship model, you have that education component. You gain valuable workplace relevant skills in the field of their choice, leading to a career, a lifelong career. It eases the transition from school to career. You are earning while you're learning that specific skill set you need for the career of your choice. Training results in that industry recognized and nationally portable credential, as we stated. And again, as part of that learning component, you can earn college credit in an apprenticeship. And you get a jump start into your career ahead of your peers by working and learning at the same time. How cool is that? And one of my favorite figures for apprenticeship, especially those that are career seekers, that DOL stats state that 94% of apprentices who complete an apprenticeship, they retain their employment, and they retain that with an average annual salary starting out at $70,000. And as I mentioned, we're going to cover 3 aspects today, which brings me to benefits for educators. And here are some of the benefits that we are seeing for colleges and universities. It creates a revenue stream because apprentices have to occupy seats in classrooms. That's that education component of the apprenticeship program. It fulfills the mission of the school, whether it's a trade school, community college, or a 4-year institute of higher learning. It increases enrollment in the number of completers, folks that actually complete their education track. Provides students hands-on learning opportunities that they can take the classroom knowledge into the workplace and vice versa. It provides stronger connection to employers between schools and employers for things outside the apprenticeship as well as inside the apprenticeship programs. And again, state and tax credits may apply, especially through WIOA and possibly the FAFSA. Again, if you want to learn more about this, go to our website, apprenticeship.gov, and you can see more information on connection to education benefits for students. Okay, as I'm getting close on time, I'm going to wrap up with some more facts and figures that'll arm you to have conversations with additional stakeholders to make apprenticeship part of the solution for our nation's workforce development needs. I want to, give some ROI. Why apprenticeships? Today, there are 6.5 million jobs that remain unfulfilled due to growing skills gap need that exists in the workforce. And that's even with the COVID-19 global pandemic. Many of these vacancies remain unfilled because employers cannot find workers with the right skills. Apprenticeship can help solve that. Other factors include an aging workforce, technology changes, technology advances such as artificial intelligence, virtual, augmented reality. Let's face it, the workplace is radically changing across all industries, and employers are turning to apprenticeship like never before. In fact, there have never been this many apprentices at one time than there are today, and there have been over 500,000 new apprentices in the last 2 years alone. We're on track to have over 1 million new apprentices from 2017 to 2021. With 94% retention rate and improving return on investment, companies of all sizes, including Microsoft, Amazon, CVS, IBM, Northrop Grumman, Hilton, Kaiser, Ford, General Electric, so many more are creating apprenticeship programs to train students and adults for careers of today and tomorrow. And again, as I mentioned, we're well on our way to have 1 million new apprentices by the end of 2021. That's an agency priority goal that we've set out, and we hope to not only accomplish, but to beat. And we are well on track even with the global pandemic, because again, apprenticeship does fill those critical skill needs that our economy needs to run and function today and tomorrow. And at the beginning of my presentation, I introduced a new term, the Industry Recognized Apprenticeship Program. So briefly, I just want to talk through what IRAPS are, as we like to call them, and just give you some definitions that you can go and do some more research on apprenticeship.gov and understand the difference between the two. You are familiar with registered apprenticeship. That's the programs that have already been a proven model for over 80 years, validated by the U.S. Department of Labor, as well as state apprenticeship agencies. As I mentioned earlier this year, we added an alternative to the national apprenticeship system called IRAPS, Industry Recognized Apprenticeship Programs. IRAPS are, again, high-quality apprenticeship programs that provide individuals with opportunities to obtain that workplace relevant knowledge and progressively advancing skills. So this is done through regulation. The final rule that the Department of Labor has put out allows us to recognize qualified third-party entities known as standards recognition entities, which will then evaluate and recognize high-quality IRAPs consistent with DOL standards. We've already recognized our first ever SREs. We had our inaugural cohort of 18 SREs announced in September. They're on the screen here. You can go learn more about these SREs at apprenticeship.gov and go to the IRAP page. You can also learn how, if you want to become an IRAP and actually be one of those third-party entities that recognize industry recognized apprenticeship programs, that high-quality, industry-driven component to the national apprenticeship system. Go to our webpage. We do reviews on a quarterly basis. We've got a cohort that we're going to be closing another application process on November 30th. So if you are interested, go take a look, reach out to our team, and we'd be happy to connect you with information. Again, I'd like to thank you so much for the privilege to present to you today. Thank you for your time. These are unprecedented times, but that should not stop us from doing the work of the American people. So I'd like to ask you to go to our website, www.apprenticeship.gov, and learn more. Let's make apprenticeship part of the solution. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to me. That is williamson.nathan@dol.gov. And again, be healthy, be safe.